Hi, I wanted to take just a few minutes to introduce you to the course and how to navigate it. First and foremost, this is Creative Writing 2001, which is Creative Writing and Advanced Composition. This course will be fully online and take place during the 12-week summer term. I am your professor, Shay Faulkner, and I have provided on the homepage of the course all of my contact information, including a Zoom link. My office hours run Monday through Friday from 12 until 2. Typically, you will communicate during office hours with me by phone, or you can send me an email to my Atlas email address or a Canvas inbox message. Canvas inbox is generally the fastest way to get in touch with me, so I encourage you to contact me that way. That said, if you would like to schedule a Zoom meeting in order to go over work together or to ask questions or whatever the case may be, all I ask is that you send me a message the day of or the day prior in Canvas inbox to schedule a meeting during those office hours between 12 and 2, Monday through Friday. That said, if for whatever reason, Monday through Friday, 12 to 2 doesn't work for you, but you would like to meet with me, I'm certain we can work something out. Just reach out to me and let me know. The next thing I want to talk to you about are the announcements. You will have access to course announcements every Monday. I will send you a message that has information about the week's assignments, as well as usually a look ahead for what's coming up in future weeks so that you are aware of what to expect. I strongly encourage you to make sure that you are reading the announcements every single week. Sometimes there's additional resources and information in those announcements that are not present in the modules. And in addition to that, sometimes I offer you extra credit opportunities. So you'll want to keep an eye out for announcements. Now, you can go to the syllabus tab in the course to see our course syllabus. On the course syllabus, you'll find out general information like our CRN number 32468, my contact information that I talked about before, along with office hours. I do want to tell you one more thing about office hours, which is that I generally respond to your emails and messages within 48 hours, Monday through Friday. However, I generally reserve the weekend for my family, so Saturdays and Sundays. As a result, if you need me over the weekend, you have some sort of an urgent matter come up, I just ask that when you send that message in Canvas inbox to me, that in your subject bar that you indicate that it's urgent and that I need to get back to you quickly. So this course is Creative Writing and Advanced Composition. We will really be focusing in on the creative writing aspect of this course. And here's what the catalog description says. This is an interactive writing course in which students develop creative writing skills in selected literary genres: short story, poetry, play, novel, personal essays, or magazine articles. I can tell you that for this class, we are going to focus on short story, poetry, and personal essay. And in the course documents, you will see it referred to as creative nonfiction, but we're really going to be looking at personal essay, which is a form of creative nonfiction. Our course outcomes state this: students will compose work in multiple literary genres. Our literary genres, again, are going to be short story, poetry, and creative nonfiction, so personal essay. Students will identify basic elements of a given literary genre. Students will critique written work of peers, and students will differentiate the caliber of their own and others' creative expression. So part of being in a creative writing class is not just writing creatively, but also examining your classmates' work and providing constructive feedback to your classmates, as well as receiving constructive feedback from your classmates and me, and then revising your work to show how you have implemented the changes that your review partners have suggested. So that's going to be a huge part of this course, and so I want you to be aware of that. You do have a required textbook called Creative Writing: 4 Genres in Brief. I provided you the edition number, the editor, and the ISBN number here so that if you want to find this book outside of the Valencia College bookstore, you can look it up online as well to find a copy. I believe it only comes in a physical copy option, so you will want to make sure you get your hands on that. Starting week 2, we will be reading heavily from this textbook, so it's very important that you get a copy of it. If you're having trouble accessing the textbook, please let me know. You will need access to Canvas through a computer. You will need access to Microsoft Word. We generally encourage you to use Chrome as your browser. Worth noting about Microsoft Word, we do offer students Office 365 for free. as just because you're a Valencia student. So I encourage you, if you don't have access to that now, to look into that. You can find it on your homepage in Atlas. It talks right there about Office 365 and accessing all of the apps that are available through that, such as Microsoft Word. I've also provided you some links for minimal technical experiences, skills and experiences, things that you would need to have, but you can have a look at these as they become important to you. I provided you important dates, as well as this college no-show policy, which says that you have to submit an assignment in an online class in order to avoid being withdrawn as a no-show. For this class, that assignment is going to be your orientation quiz. As for withdrawals, as a general rule, I don't withdraw students. However, you can withdraw yourself until the withdrawal date, which is June 28th, 2024. So do know that that is an available option for you. Additionally, I want to draw your attention to the academic integrity policy. Ultimately, we want you submitting work with the highest regard for integrity, which means that you are submitting work that was created by you for this class and only this class, which means that you won't be using any outside help for any reason, with the exception of if you went to the writing center or had a conference with me. That sort of thing would be acceptable, but you shouldn't be using your friends to help you. You shouldn't be plagiarizing content from the internet. You should not be using AI such as ChatGPT, Bard, Copilot, anything like that. We want to avoid those. Certain versions of Grammarly are now considered AI, so you really want to be mindful. In the event that you are found to have used AI on an assignment, for the first offense, you would earn a 0 for the assignment, and the second, you would earn an F in the course. It's also worth noting, though, that first assignment that you could earn a 0 on could cause you to have an F depending on what that assignment is. So you don't want to take this lightly. Please, I encourage you, make sure the work that you are submitting is your own and is being completed with the highest regard for integrity. If you're a student with a disability and need accommodations for this course or others, please see the information provided, as well as Baycare is a service that students are offered, which will provide you with free counseling services. I think you get 3 or 5 for free. If you're dealing with stress, anxiety, depression, adjustment difficulties, substance abuse, time management problems, anything like that, we can provide you some counseling services if you need it. Please seek help if you need help. In the college links, I've also provided you a link I mentioned earlier to Microsoft Office 365. If you click this link, it'll give you instructions for how to make sure you're accessing that. As for attendance, this is an online course, which means you should not only be logging in and viewing pages, but submitting assignments regularly. However, if for whatever reason you know you're going to be missing class for an extended period of time for a religious observance, jury duty, participation in extracurricular activities, where you are acting as an official representative of Valencia College, the military, anything like that where you're going to miss classes, you need to reach out to me in advance to make sure that you have completed the work prior to your absence, or to ensure that we have a plan for how you will catch up expeditiously upon your return. As for late work and makeup work, generally speaking, I have 2 levels of how I address late work. The first is for summative assignments. Those are going to be our assignments that are worth 10 points or more. I give you a 24-hour grace period where you can submit without penalty. And then after that, you get an additional 48 hours to submit with a 50% penalty. For your formative assignments, those are going to be our assignments worth less than 10 points. I do not accept those late. That said, sometimes things happen where you are just unable to get your work in, and I understand that. And as a result, I do make a point of letting you know that you do get 3 extensions over the course of the semester for any assignment, so long as you reach out to me prior to the due date. So if something is due on May 5th at 11:59 p.m., as long as you get in touch with me before May 5th at 11:59, even if it's 11:58 p.m., and request that extension. If you have one of your 3 available to you, I will grant the extension. We'll work together to come up with a due date. Usually the extension is between 24 and 48 hours, and you will be able to have that extra time to get your assignment in. So I'm trying very hard here to work with you based on different scenarios that you may encounter. It's worth noting that this class is a grade point class, where Rather than using percentages, we use possible points. There are 100 possible points to be earned in this course. Your grade could be as high as 100, right? And each assignment is working toward that 100 points. So to earn an A, you need 90 points. To earn a B, you need at least 80, between 80 and 89.9. A C, 70 and 79.9. A D, 60 and 69.9, and so on and so forth. I've provided a grading breakdown for you. What you'll see is that your assignments for week 1, which are the syllabus quiz and the introduction discussion, those are going to be worth 10 points. So it's a great way to start fast and hot and make sure that you're getting as much credit as possible. Then over the next 3 weeks, we'll be focusing in on short story. You will have an assignment related to the form of short story, which will be a quiz. Then the week after that, in week 3, you will analyze some short stories and provide your thoughts on those, completing an assignment worth 5 points. And then in week 4, we will conclude our study of the short story, where you will compose your very own short story and you will submit it for peer review and review from me. And you too will engage in peer review. So that's going to happen at week 4. Then in weeks 5, 6, and 7, we will do kind of the exact same thing, but with poetry. Then in 8, 9, and 10, we will do the next set of 3 assignments, which will be creative nonfiction. Again, you'll be providing feedback on your own of your classmates' poetry, of your classmates' creative nonfiction, their personal essays. And then you will get kind of to your culminating assignment, which is going to be our portfolio assignment. The portfolio assignment is worth 25 points of your grade. So it's very important. And what you will be doing there is presenting your short story, your poetries, and your creative nonfiction in their original form. You'll be providing a summary of the feedback you received from your classmates as well as me, your instructor. And then you will provide a revised version of each of those pieces of writing and a reflection telling me how you revised your work based on the feedback you received from both your peers and from me. The key to doing well on this portfolio is really taking to heart the constructive feedback that you've received. That's why that feedback's so important on those earlier assignments. And then working to make your writing better. And then finally, you'll have a course reflection where you just take a quick look back on the course. I've also provided you a course schedule so that you can kind of see all the things that I was talking through a moment ago. I encourage you to have a look at that closely. To start the semester, you will go to the modules tab. And on the modules tab, you will be provided with the orientation module first. In the orientation module, what you will see is that you have a number of pages that really walk through a lot of the items that are in the syllabus, reinforcing those ideas, and also providing some new information like how to use Canvas. And if you have questions for the general class, a place to post those where I can get back to you. And then you will have your required attendance activity, which is your orientation quiz. But you also have an introduction discussion that will be due in week 1. Then from there, you will move into week 2, week 3, and then week 4. At this time, when you start the class, you will have access to weeks 1 through 4, but they are set up so that you have to complete all items in order to gain access to the next page. Let me show you what that looks like. I have placed my screen in student view so that you can see I'm at the week 1 orientation module and it says start here. But notice you can see pages are beneath it, but you can't access them. So in order to gain access, you have to go to the first page, read what's on that page, click on next, continue reading, and go on and so forth until you have read through all of the pages. Once you do that, you will then gain access to your orientation quiz. Once you've completed the orientation quiz, you will get access to the introduction discussion. And then once you've completed the entire module, you will then gain access to the week 2 module. And it's the same thing. You have to read through each page, complete the assignment, read the following page to then gain access to week 3. So while I have open weeks 2, 3, and 4, you do have to work through each of the assignments in order to gain access to the next set of assignments. So I think that's important for you to know. At this point, I have opened, as I say, I've opened the orientation module and then the full short story unit. Once we make it to May 29th, I will open up the full poetry unit. And then a little bit later on in the term in June, I will open up the creative nonfiction unit. And then finally, I will open up the revision unit toward the end of the term. So you will get about 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the week, worth of assignments and access to the modules, so that if you are the kind of student who does like to work ahead, you have access up to a point to work ahead, but you aren't working so far ahead that you aren't staying on pace properly with the course. I hope that this video has been helpful to you and that you have learned a lot about how the course will operate and what you can expect. If you have questions or need any help, please let me know.